We start with Eve, blood on her as a child, holding a ballerina toy spinning in a glass case in her hands. Not a bad opener. There's this antique music, these melodies lingering from it, right? And then we get to the shot of the soldiers coming out of the ocean, moving towards the house, which that's a good shot. I'll give them that. And then we get to the action sequences with the father. He's throwing some dark reddish gas grenades around. Just him versus SWAT team. These action sequences here are pretty unremarkable to me. They just don't stand out like the rest of the quadrilogy. Then the main villain enters. Gabriel Byrne, Hereditary, Stigmata, great actor. He enters in very generic fashion, which is quite ironic because he's one of the most generic villains in recent history. And because the daughter says, "Papa!" Also, Eve shoots a guy off of her dad who had a knife. I think I believe John Wick's ability to kill someone with a pencil than her action so far in this film. And then the house explodes on the island, and then Papa dies, father dies. "I'm sorry, honey. I never wanted this." I forgot if the sun is rising or setting, but whatever. It's that's in the background. The ocean's in the background. She's over his dead body, and you're supposed to, be all weepy and care. But for some reason, just so far, everything has kind of felt like like a mid Zack Snyder movie, like that Rebel Moon bullshit, That's kind of how it comes across so far. I don't know. None of the action, all the action so far has just been like, we've done better in the previous 4 films. Way better. By the way, I just randomly watched Tony Jaa's The Protector, and there's a oneer in that film that's better than the entire opening to Ballerina. Quite forgettable, like this whole film. Child Eve gets recruited by Morticia Addams. There's a 12-year flash forward, I think. And we finally get to Ana de Armas, she's a ballerina twirling and brutally failing, falling. Her feet look terrible, my God. Anna's performance in the training montage and throughout the entire film is great. Sparring hand-to-hand, gunfight training. Performance-wise, she's fine. It's the script and the forgettable action that's not. Because of a puppy, it was more than a puppy. John Wick finally gets introduced into the film. He gets branded by a hot iron. Honestly, more memorable than anything that's happened so far with Anna's character, to be honest with you. He's so effortlessly badass. True legend, Keanu Reeves. I just love him. But John Wick sprinkled throughout this film is not enough to help this movie be dope or really substantially engaging. Honestly, John Wick's scenes were forgettable compared to the last 4 films. The first club scene in this film felt similar to a soda can that's been unopened in your car for a year and a half, and you decide, today I'm going to open it and drink it. Flat and not tasteful at all. I do like the concept of it being a ice lounge. Like, that's kind of neat, but as per usual in this film, the concept is interesting, the execution is not. I love the rage that Anna conveys and during this sequence of her fighting guys in this club, killing guys, I should be saying. Nice. Emotionally, and her movements when she fights, she clearly trained very hard for this. So we flash forward 2 months for some reason, and I'm reminded that this film feels so non-replayable outside of her giving 110% at this role. She leaves the club, she gets in her car, but her car sideways, is struck by another vehicle, which in one shot shoves her car several feet down an alleyway. My only issue is that they use some kind of ugly CGI that looks so off, so poorly executed, that on the first watch I thought someone messed up individual frames during this car crash or something. It looked bad. You could instantly detect weak digital artifice. Seeing Lance was bittersweet. Can't believe he's been gone since 2023. Anyways, a guy with an X branded onto his wrist that definitely died in the car crash. This leads to Eve tracking down the group that killed her father, right? And then Eve breaks into Daryl Dixon's apartment, which, listen, I have, like, I got love for Norman Reedus, but Norman Reedus just comes across as he's playing Daryl Dixon, but on autopilot mode or something like that in this film. I mean, everything about him is forgettable. His dialogue, any action sequences, even when he's shooting that shotgun. Speaking of which, when those killers entered the apartment, the sound of gunshots, and specifically his shotgun, the sound design is diabolical on that shotgun. But the action in these scenes, or in the entire film, feel so boring and just droning on and on and on to me. Even if I hadn't seen the previous John Wick films, which I have. Again, Tony Jaa's film from 20 years ago is better as a one example. John Wick 1 is levels greater. What are we ultimately doing here? I care about these films because of John. Not because of some random ballerina you were begging us to watch for, what, 4 more ballerina films? Jesus, the knife-throwing scene in the third film, that's more memorable than a majority of the action scenes happening here. The scenes of Eve using grenades against an enemy ambush at a gun shop, for example. You would think this would be one of the best action scenes of all time, or at least worth freaking out about. But instead, it's just okay. Nothing crazy memorable happens here to me. And my God, Gabriel Byrne is an awesome actor, but his character is painfully one note and paper thin in general. Dialogue, motive, intimidatingness. The flamethrower sequence was really fucking cool, I'm not gonna lie to you. And the use of real flames is insane at any moment. The stuff with Eve's sister and the snow-covered building explosion, which, how in God's name did either sister survive this? I don't know. Eve basically fights a village. I mean, it's kind of neat, sorta, kinda. Again, nothing special, nothing crazy. And I still feel, even after a rewatch, which happened very recently, Ana de Armas, she gives it her all, but the dialogue and the action scenes, even with John Wick helping, Ballerina feels like a bland entry into a masterclass action film universe to me. It's a 4 out of 10 for me. I don't think any of the John Wick films have ranked lower than an 8 or 7 out of 10. I don't. Yeah. Also, the daughter of Daryl Dixon. Okay, like oh my God, she's talking to the main villain. Oh my God, she's in trouble. Who gives a fuck? Okay, who cares? Okay, like most things happening in this film. Like what? People who are saying that they love this film, that this film is on par or better than previous John Wick films. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How is this not the weakest John Wick film? Isn't it bombing financially at the box office right now? Isn't it critically the lowest Wick film? Audience wise, I'm not sure. But what? Also, with the sister, I didn't understand the sister's motives at all. Like, there's a moment where the sister, she shoots someone and saves Eve's life, and it's just like, what? Just because you found out that's your long lost sister, like what? Like, isn't this like a trained killer, assassin, something like that? Like her sister is suddenly ignoring the main villain, saving Eve's life. It just feels cheesy and ridiculous. Like the last time you saw your sister, you were 9 years old. Okay, like what? You should have cold ice in your veins. This movie just didn't do it for me. Like, I don't. People who are like, oh yeah, this movie's good. Go waste $20 or more in theaters to go see it. Like, what? What? Stay home and watch it on streaming, if even then. I don't. If you think this film is good, if you like loved it, if you think it's great, if you're like freaking out about it, please enlighten me, because I saw nothing worth freaking out about in this film that felt very long.